Hello, welcome back to CinemaBurger, where I bring you movie reviews from a different perspective. Today we're here to talk about the movie Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's a sequel to the 2018 Venom movie, and this one stars Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Woody Harrelson, and Naomi Harris. So it picks up where Eddie Brock and Venom are living together, but they can't come to terms on things, and it's basically like a dysfunctional relationship, because this movie's basically a romantic comedy, and that's a good thing. So, Venom and Eddie Brock split up after some disagreements, and also Eddie Brock's trying to get his career back, and he interviews known serial killer Cletus Cassidy, played by Woody Harrelson, and he gets an interview with him before he's on death row, and he ends up biting him, which causes some of the symbiote to go on to Cletus Cassidy. Like, everything Venom says is pretty funny. It's kind of like it's your inner monologue or conscious talking, like your subconscious and stuff. And what's good about this movie, it's like an hour and 37 minutes. Not every superhero movie or action movie needs to be like 2.5 hours. This movie starts hitting the ground running, and it keeps going. Now, it's interesting when Cletus Cassidy's on death row. I don't know if the piece of symbiote that's on him stops it from happening, because he's getting a lethal injection. So I don't know if that makes the symbiote more intense, but of course it's the red gooey looking symbiote that we all know as Carnage, and it's technically the offspring of the Venom symbiote, and it's red and it has usually sharp objects, and it is radically different from the Venom symbiote, which is really cool. Now, at one time, Venom goes out on his own, still using hosts, but since they're not compatible, they die. But he kind of goes to a nightclub, and he's rapping and stuff. I don't know. It was pretty funny and weird, but Venom wants to be known as the Lethal Protector, which is of course the 80s comic that this movie and the previous one was based on. So that's a funny little joke there. And what's great is Eddie Brock, he's still he looks a little more clean than the previous movie, but he's still his hair is always kind of messed up. He's a little sweaty still, so it's not your typical broad-chested, muscular superhero. There's a whole backstory with Cletus Cassidy and this character played by Naomi Harris called Shriek, which is of course another one of the symbiotes from the comics, but her Shriek powers are kind of there already. It's like she's a mutant in a way, but I don't know, this movie was just as funny and enjoyable as the first one. It's basically a love story in a way. There's a funny joke later where Cletus Cassidy and his love interest are getting married, and Carnage is gonna threaten to kill Venom, who's his father, and he says father, but the priest thinks he's talking to him, so that was a funny joke. Yeah, so if you like the first Venom, I think you'll like this one too. The jokes are funny. It's has nods to the comics, and it's under 2 hours. Oh, and there is a mid-credit scene that you'll be very satisfied with. I'm not going to spoil it, but I think it's something everyone has been waiting for. So I give Venom, Let There Be Carnage, I'm going to give it a 3.5, or maybe, yeah, 3.5 out of 5 burgers, because this movie shines when it's doing the comedic bits and the interaction between Venom and Eddie Brock. But a couple of the fight scenes I kind of got bored by, honestly, and that's why I only give it a 3.5. And I think that's just because there's so many superhero movies or action movies that were kind of bored by the action scenes, but there was, yeah, a few times where I was bored by them, but the jokes and dialogue are where this movie shines. Plus, Woody Harrelson, it is like over the top, like comical, but everyone is over the top in this. But yeah, check out Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's in theaters now. I'm Scott Berger, and I'll see you next time.